الرحيم الحمد لله نحمده واستعينه واستهديه واستغفره وأؤمن به جل وعلا ولا أكفره وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أرسله بالهدى ودين الحق ليظهره على الدين كله ولو كره المشركون. All praise belongs to Allah. We praise Him, we seek His help, His assistance, and His guidance. We believe in Him and do not disbelieve in Him. I bear witness that there is no God but Allah, and Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is a servant and messenger. Allah sent him, that is Muhammad, with Deen al-Haq, the religion, the way, the methodology of truth. This way of life known as Islam will rise to its proper position in this world, whether the mushriks like it or not. أما بعد فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله وأوثق الأمور كلمة التقوى وخير الملال ملة إبراهيم وخير السنن سنة محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وأشرف الحديث ذكر الله وأحسن القصص هذا القرآن وخير الأمور أوزموها وشر الأمور محدثاتها وأحسن الهدي هدي الأنبياء وأشرف الموت قتل الشهداء وأما دلالة بعد الهدى وخير الأعمال ما نفعها وخير الهادي ما أتبعها وشر أما الكون. Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said the most truthful of discourses is Kitabullah. The most trustworthy word is taqwa, or fear of Allah. The best of the communities is the community of Prophet Ibrahim. The best way of life is the sunnah of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. The remembrance of Allah is the most glorious of all things. The best of all narrations is Quran. The best acts are those requiring the highest degree of will and determination. The worst acts are those based on bid'ah or innovation. The best way of life is the one adopted by the prophets of Allah. The most glorious death is the death of the martyr. The most wretched blindness consists of going astray after finding the right way. The best acts are the ones that yield benefits. The best guidance is that which people may be able to follow. The worst blindness is the blindness of the heart. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Inna Allah ya'muru bil-adli wal-ihsani wa ita'i dhil-qurba wa yanha 'anil fahsha'i wal-munkari wal-baghi ya'idhukum la'allakum tadhakkarun. Allah commands justice, the doing of good, and liberality to kith and kin. And He forbids all shameful deeds and injustice and rebellion. He instructs you that you may receive admonition. فَمَنْ يُرِيدِ اللَّهُ أَنْ يَهْدِيَهُ يَشْرَحْ صَدْرَهُ لِلْإِسْلَامِ. Those whom Allah and His plan will to guide, He opens their breast to Islam. يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا اتَّقُوا اللَّهَ حَقَّ تُقَاتِهِ وَلَا تَمُوتُنَّ إِلَّا وَأَنْتُمْ Muslimun. O you believe, fear Allah as He should be feared, and do not die except in a state of Islam. وَاتَّصِمُوا بِحَبْلِ اللَّهِ جَمِيعًا وَلَا تَفَرَّقُوا. And hold fast altogether by the rope which Allah stretches out for you, and be not divided amongst yourselves. And remember with gratitude Allah's favor on you. كنتم خير أمة أخرجت للناس تأمرون بالمعروف وتنهون عن المنكر وتؤمنون بالله. You are the best peoples ever raised up for mankind, because you enjoin the right, you forbid the wrong, and you believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala khairil mursaleen. Muhammadin an-Nabi al-Ummi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Amma ba'd, yaqulu Allahu ta'ala fil Quran al-Kareem. Inna Allaha wa malaikatahu yusalluna ala nabi. Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu sallu alayhi wa sallimu tasliman. Allahumma salli ala sayyidina Maulana Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. O you believe, be ye not like those who vexed and insulted Moses, but Allah cleared him of the calumnies they had uttered, and he was honorable in the sight of Allah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu attaqullah wa qawlan sadidan. O you believe, fear Allah and always say a word directed to the right, that he may make your conduct whole and sound and forgive you your sins. He that obeys Allah and his messenger has already attained the highest achievement. The phrase qawlan sadidan, when we kind of look over it a little bit, it says we must not only speak the truth as far as we know it, but we must always try to hit the right point. We must not speak unseasonably. And when we do speak, we must not beat around the bush, but go straight to that point which is right, in deed as well as in word. Then Allah will make our conduct right and cure any defects that there may be in our knowledge and character. With our endeavor directed straight to the goal, we shall be forgiven our errors, shortcomings, faults, and sins of the past. Not only will we be forgiven the sins of the past, but we will be prepared by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to repent of our upcoming sins. Because remember, we're not going to get no perfection in this world. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to, if we do this correctly, qawlan sadidan, that means speak a word directly to the point. Now there's another commentator, when he speaks about it, I think it's Muhammad Assad. O you believe, or O you have attained to faith, remain conscious of Allah and always speak with a will to bring out only what is just and true, whereupon he will cause your deeds to be virtuous and will forgive you your sins. And know that whoever pays heed unto Allah and his apostle has already attained a mighty triumph. So the commentary says the expressions qawl sadid, you know, like we said, kul hu Allahu ahad, all that. That means kul, it means to say. So qawl sadid means to say a word that is straight, say a word that is directed to the point. Say a word that's unambiguous. It don't have secret meanings. Don't become an American politician. You ever see these guys train to lie? I mean, they have a coach that they're teaching them. They're going to say, well, they're going to ask this question. So here's what you do. The people get standing ovations because they lie real good. I mean, nobody tells a speaker word. You can ask a politician, a professional speaker, any question you want, and you will never get a straight answer. Right? You just won't. Because they are preparing themselves for a future lie. They're making sure that what they say covers up the past lie and the present misrepresentation of reality, right, will coincide with the future lie that they're going to tell. Because when their opponent try to trap him in a position, right, he'll say, well, no, that you didn't understand that. This is exactly what I meant. And he'll take one word out of that last lie in the past and the present lie and spin a whole new yarn. And so you spend all your time trying to trap a man that has practiced lying, professional lying. All right? A Muslim can't do that. Of course, now our states people do. I mean, you know, I think they follow the West so much that they have gotten pretty good at lying. But it goes on to say, literally, a saying that hits the mark, is truthful, relevant, and to the point. And the only other, and it goes on to say, it obviously relates to speaking to others in a manner devoid of hidden meanings, insinuation, and frivolous, suspicious talk aiming at no more than the truth, or aiming away from the truth. All right, that's Muhammad Assad's. So, Qawlan Sadidan means speak a word that is correct, that is straight. Another ayat says, then fighting Allah's cause, thou art held responsible only for thyself and rouse the believers. It may be that Allah will restrain the fury of the unbelievers, for Allah is the strongest in might and punishment. فَقَاتِلُوا فِي سَبِيلِ like taklif. You are responsible ila nafsaka, for your own self. Wa haridi al-mu'minun, or rouse the believers. So it says you're responsible, and this only for yourself. You can't manage, you can't control. Now this is to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, so you know how serious it is for you and I, right? They told him, I'm giving you this whole package. The revelation of Quran, Hadith Qudsi, standard Hadith, which should be Sahih, all of those, I'm giving that to you, and I'm giving you a pattern of behavior that is consistent with all of this revelation. But you're not responsible for everybody. In another ayah it says your response or your duty is to preach openly and clearly. You can't make nobody do this. So haridi al-mu'minun means rouse the believers, get the believers fired up. In fact, it does say the courage of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was as notable as his wisdom, his gentleness, and his trust in Allah. Facing fearful odds, he often stood alone and took the whole responsibility on himself. But his example and visible trust in Allah inspired and roused the Muslims, and also speaking purely from a human point of view, restrained the fury of his enemies. When we consider that he was Allah's inspired messenger to carry out his plan, we can see that nothing can resist that plan. If the enemy happens to have strength, power, and resources, Allah's strength, power, and resources are infinitely greater. If the enemies mediating punishment on the righteous, for the righteous, Allah's punishment for such wickedness will be infinitely greater and more effective. I'll read the ayat again. Then fight in Allah's cause. Yukatiluna fi sabilihi. That is to fight, to cut, to slash in the way of Allah. Then fight in the cause of Allah. Thou art held responsible only for thyself, and rouse the believers. It may be that Allah will restrain the fury of the unbelievers, for Allah is the strongest in might and punishment. Therefore, we're given this duty, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying to us, Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu ittaqullah wa qawlan sadida. O you who believe, fear Allah and always say a word directed toward the right. And if you do that, first I'll go a little ways. We've been here, DC, 31 years, times is rolling. We opened our Masjid in Oakland about 40 years ago. In all the time we have been here, we've held a certain position. We've had all kind of, you can look at this demonstration right here. This is downtown. I think the congresswoman was there. It was hundreds of thousands at this demonstration. You can see others. One time we spoke down there and it was 500,000 people there. And if y'all remember, that was when we said on the stage that, hey, do y'all want to say a slogan that 1.5 billion people will love you? They said yes. Y'all remember that? And so I said, okay, now listen. I'm going to say takbir, right? When I say takbir, I want y'all to say Allahu Akbar, right? So remember now, there's 500,000 people down there. Most of them white folks, right? Remember that? It was against the war and all that. And takbirs, look, I said takbir. You know what the white folks did? They said Allahu Akbar. Then, you know, the second takbir, I said takbir. They said Allahu Akbar. I said, man, these takbirs is better than the Muslims' takbir. Then the third one, hey man, downtown, that whole area down there was shaking almost. The next day, the guy that got cancer now was Rush Limbaugh. He said that old Imam, Musa, whatever, he's teaching our people slogans that they say when they blow up our buildings. The man is a crackpot and an idiot. A big time idiot. It ain't no new fool. This boy is he's a high level idiot. I mean, specialized. He has risen to the level of excellence in buffoonery and clownery. And the only person that can outdo him is old boss man down there, the old yellow-haired man. The bald-headed man. What is his name? Is Don. He got 3 hairs going and he combing over. I admit that Don is a superior crackpot. I haven't seen anybody in the world of politicians, states, people, comedians, nobody can outdo this boy. He's good. But now, this is one of our friends, if y'all remember, from Palestine. He used to go over to Dar Hijra, and he's been in prison. He might be out by now. But the FBI didn't have no charge on him. They said, we want you to inform on your friends. He said, I ain't going to do it. So they put him in jail. What did Darl Hijra do? Nothing. Not a thing. And in the back, there's Sami Al-Arian. Y'all know Sami Al-Arian, the professor down in Florida, right? One of the top people in the Islamic movement in America, Sami Al-Arian. What they did to him was they invited him to Fox News and they got him to say something that was against the law. And that's one of the reasons they started putting him in jail and what have you. When I went to go down and get on Fox News, everybody was worried. They say, man, them white folks is heavy and they real. I said, them crackers ain't nothing. Them crackers are stupid. You know, because you remember, we've been here a long time. We know the law. We know the specific law. If I say Donald Trump is a butthole and a clown and a monkey and all that, that's within my rights. But if I were to say, therefore, since he is that, now you go down and you, or whatever you do, that is against the law. Because now I have incited, right, violence. And you know our program is nonviolent resistance, but it's alternative resistance. We believe if you want to solve the drug problems and homelessness, the church, the mosque, the synagogue should do that. We shouldn't be down there trying to, maybe we'll get to that point. Maybe the silly leaders that we have. Can you imagine? With everything that they're doing to the Muslims today, right? The Muslims are still trying to vote and they're going to get in and help the something or other. Now, that don't mean help the brothers and us. Hey man, we got so much stuff going on. Where's all these brothers? All our brothers, As-Sabiqun. Where are they all at? Right? I mean, As-Sabiqun al-awwalun min al-muhajirin wal-ansar. The first rank, right, in Islam. As-Sabiqun al-awwalun. They go out and they win the race. They're in front of everybody. They anticipate what's needed. That's the name of our movement. And at one time we had over 10 Masjid. Here's old Ibrahim Hoover. Ibrahim Hoover, remember now it says speak a word towards something that's straight. Now, we haven't been calling no names in the past. But the way they treat Muslims now, we would be remiss, right, if we didn't mention the names of these people. Hey man, they done sold out the Muslims. They disregard whatever the Quran and Hadith say. They don't pay no attention to it, and they do what they want to do, not what Allah said. And guess what? They got the whole group following. Can you imagine? All the Negro, anybody that's a Negro Imam born in the United States of America have to know there's no such thing as freedom, justice, and equality in America, unless he's crazy or something like that. That's possible, right? That is possible. He could have just fell off the wagon and bumped his head. Anything like that. He could be basically crazy. But all of us during our time that went through the civil rights era, right? During Jim Crow, remember, I mean, not that I'm getting old, but I'm 75 years old. When I was born, Jim Crow was Jim Crow, real Jim Crow. I mean, real old-time lynching and all of that stuff, back of the bus, all of that stuff was not only, that was normal. Anything else was abnormal. So when we was born, we was grown in Jim Crow. We wasn't like youngsters that I don't understand. What you know, I was older when Emmett Till got destroyed. His mother said, oh, have an open casket. And they showed that boy. I said, good. He was almost the same age, right around. I said, man, that is serious. But that inspired the movement. As-Sabiqun, that's one of our joints. That was in L.A. We had 2 or 3 joints in L.A. Look at this. This is just so nice. Stop, this is the poor Muslims, send ground troops, avoid genocide. Stop ethnic cleansing. It's in Bosnia. You know the biggest march in this city by Muslims was over 50,000 Muslims came here in 1993 for the Bosnia March. Yeah. We was all down there. We was part of it, in fact. We was at every subway station and we was pointing to people, go here, go there. We was a part of this. Look at all our Muslim brothers. Here they are. This is one of the demonstrations in California. Boy, they're standing there in black just like they actually pretty tough guys. That's what they look like. As-Sabiqun. Everybody, Arabs, this kind of crew, that kind of crew. Here's our program in the Masjid. Everybody you can imagine. Iranians, Arabs, this is from UCLA. Just literally every kind of person you could imagine. But where are they now? That's the question. Where are all our friends now? Well, the pyramids in Egypt, you've seen those. Israeli repression made in the USA. Da, 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 da. Here's some of our brothers here. Look at all these local faces. This is when we went out to California. This looks like either Mujaddidi or it's the president of Afghanistan, right there. And that's one of the homeboys talking with him. This is a big program in Iran. You know what? If we've been speaking to Iranians for 40 years, why don't none of them come by and help us now that boss man is pulling all of his mess, right? Boss man is up to mess. Where is everybody? That's the only question we got. Man, you could imagine speaking to, this is 800 young girls in Sri Lanka. So, we've had a chance to influence and be a part of, this is South Africa, this is our saying right here. Greatness of purpose, smallness of means, astounding results. That's a criteria, well, white folks use it sometimes, for greatness. They say, greatness of purpose, your purpose in life, the thing, the goal that you're shooting for, the vision, the imagination, the hope, dream, and aspiration that you have. Greatness of purpose. Smallness of means you ain't had nothing to help you get there, are you? And astounding results. Technically, I was using that for Imam Khomeini. You know why? Greatness of purpose to establish the Islamic State with all the Shah's army and the United States and everybody against it. Right? And he's in exile. And he comes back and established the Islamic Republic. No army. Remember in those days, all the revolutionaries, when they would go outside of the country, whether it was Lenin or whoever else it was, when they came back, they had an army there waiting or had people doing different stuff to destabilize the system. Imam Khomeini didn't have no army. Greatness of purpose, smallness of means, and astounding results. You can say what you want. Now, when I talk about Iranians being misfits, I'm talking about the handkerchief-headed, FBI-orientated Iranians, not the Islamic Republic. See, because like when the FBI was here, and he said, well, we don't want you to do this, that, and the other, and you could tell the Iranians if da-da-da-da-da. I said, tell the Iranians, I said, y'all got more Iranians up in y'all's business than we do. I said, no. I know what I'm talking about. Y'all got more snitches and informers, right, and saboteurs from Iran this with you. I said, yes. It's because we've been messing around a long time, so you can smell them after a while. Anyway, look how full our masjid used to be on Eid. Yeah, it just used to be the funnest Eid. Nobody could touch our Eids. All the food and happiness. I ain't gonna mention this boy. But anyway, program in Canada, Dr. Kaleem Siddiqui. Y'all remember what Dr. Kaleem Siddiqui said. The fact, here's the chief. This is the chief, and this is Hassan from LA. Y'all hear about Allama Zakzaki? 3 of his sons was martyred and all that. Here he is. This is a program we're at in South Africa. Allama Zakzaki. And this is Imam Khomeini's grandson. Are we all alone? This is Oakland, demonstration in Oakland not long ago. You will see most of the people, it's kind of progressive. Oakland, Berkeley, San Francisco is a little more progressive than DC. But you'll see the majority of people in this demonstration right here is white folks. It was for Oscar Grant. The police shot him to death. You know. Here's a nice, let's see what this is. Oh, here we are speaking right downtown again. No ethnic cleansing. But where's all the brothers at? From Dar al-Hijra? Remember Dar al-Hijra? ICM out there? Remember everybody 20 years ago, 15 years ago? Remember all those wonderful demonstrations? But after 9/11, you can't go get nobody. Go get a couple of Muslims and go downtown with you for a demonstration. See what happened. Oh, we all on stage, just huffed up, beards a little black at that time. All huffed up. Where's all the gangster Muslims? They all in black. People used to like to see them black uniforms. Boy, that was nice. I don't want to show, but this is at the Egyptian Museum. There's some, this is in passing. These are pyramids right here. But these pyramids are in Sudan. Now, we had all imagined that civilization went up the Nile, not down the Nile. But if you want to see the most ancient pyramids, you know where you find them? In Sudan. Here they are, a lot of them rebuilt. And not only that, this is more of those pictures, Sudan. And there's a few that all the ancient writings that you used to see in Egypt, you would think that they came from Egypt. The pyramids, the statues, I don't have one of the statues here, but this is from talking about black people now. This is in Cairo. This is the Egyptian Museum, Royal. Now, you can see this is a statue. You look at the way this lady is built. Now, who is that? Is that an African woman? Or is it? Y'all want to see it? Can you see the way the body parts are shaped? Just pass that around. And see whether that's an African woman. That's in Egypt now. Because they always show you know why Napoleon tried to blow the face off the Sphinx? Because the lips was too big and the big old wide nose. That's why, yeah. I can show you. So, you would think this is Sudan, this is Egypt, but that's Sudan. I'm just telling you a little bit about culture because, see, if you listen to what other people say, they'll put you in the back of the bus all the time. Right? Everybody will. Of course, this is the pyramids themselves, the Egyptian pyramids. But the original pyramids, they called it the Royal City. It's in Sudan, not in Egypt. They all told us, that Egyptian culture, this is the Sphinx. Now, y'all remember Napoleon, when he took over Egypt, he looked at the Sphinx and he didn't like it. Do y'all know what he did? He took his cannons and blew off all, why ain't no nose and lips there? He blew them off with cannons. You know why? The lips look like yours, and nose, big old wide nose. But you'll see some of in the movies, you'll see some of the pyramids, you'll think the people was white almost. They show you a big old markup of the pyramids, and the Sphinx. Said, don't look like that. Sometimes, I have seen movies, Rhonda Fleming and all them, with the pyramids, they almost have a pointed nose. I said, my goodness, that's serious. It ain't our pyramids, it's their pyramids. And I'll get to the point of speaking a word that is direct. All the demonstrations and everything we've had here in D.C., here's when we formed. These are all the Muslims when we formed As-Sabiqun. Now here's nice fellows, but where are they at now? Where's everybody? This is a question we ask. Where is everybody? And what did Masjid al-Islam do to anybody that don't nobody want to talk to? Do you know, I don't care who it is, all the Negroes, whether it's Zaid Shaka, Siraj Wahab, all of them, when they met right in here at Manna, guess who didn't even get a chance to speak? Me. It's not that I did, but we hosted the program. Everybody can speak and participate. I'm saying, where is the Islam of the people? Where is the practice of Islam? Because it tells Hariri al-Mu'minun, revive the believers. Mujaddidi again, Afghanistan. Okay. Beautiful thing about this is in Canada. This is really a long time ago. You see how black I feel to it. You'll see one Iranian guy sitting over in the corner. All he was doing was monitoring this meeting. And you know what the Negroes was doing? These are professional progress hinderers. That was their job, to make sure nothing get done. They got pads and pencils and they all laid. You would think they're ready to start a revolution. They are professionals. Everybody on this picture, subject, of course, is professionals at stopping the movement, of making sure nothing can happen. And the only thing the Iranian brother there is doing, he's a representative of Imam Khomeini, and if the Muslim were to organize himself in them days, there was a great amount of assistance going to come. And they all knew it, and they made sure nothing happened. And when they smelled something happen, they go open Manna, right? That's why Manna was there some years ago, to smell out any potential development and cut it out, to make sure that nothing happens Islamically in America. And in Sudan, you would feel sad. As Khutbah Jum'ah from Sudan, there's Ihsan Bagby, the Negro Imam from New York. I won't say nothing about him because he passed away. And there's another good brother there. Most of these guys are making sure that nothing happens. Nothing happens. And it don't be that nobody wants to give us a little support or a little help. But whenever is present, either the Muslims go on the side and cut themselves a deal and leave you out. And in fact, if you're genuine, they will make sure that you're not in on nothing. Here's the mighty As-Sabiqun again. Said I joined in Sacramento. Where's everybody now? Where's everybody? And what's the story? I mean, you know, like, something had to happen, right? Something had to happen. That's all we're saying. Man, we'd have programs that people be filling up the program. San Diego, LA. Okay, now I get to the point. Speak the word to the people in a way that it reaches the point. That it hits home. That it's not ambiguous. It's not frivolous. It's not small-time Negro or Afrocentric type stuff. It's speaking a word to the truth, right to the point, from an Islamic point of view. Now, we'll get to that. We've been here over 30 years in D.C. The Masjid in Oakland was preceded by about, I don't know how many, 1980. So all that period, we have been following the Quran and the Sunnah. Now, we always talk about what is our policy? What flavor do we have? First is Quran, automatically, right? And then we have been doing this long enough for people to have witnessed, to have taken notes, and to say, well, either looks like it or don't look like it, right? And then the Sunnah, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And then history, traveling the earth and see what was the end of those before you. And traveling the earth that you may what? Gain knowledge. So history. And then the last part is what? The last part is our part, our experience. Now, in the Islamic movement, it goes kind of like this. The civil rights movement, it started with the freedom rides, and then nonviolence, and then the Martin Luther King type trend, and a mixture of the Malcolm X approach. And pretty soon, the civil rights movement evolved into the black nationalist or black power movement. Y'all remember that? Black power. Black power, the guy that was behind Stokely Carmichael, Willie Ricks, is a friend of mine. He was telling Stokely Carmichael, because not to go stray on history, but you notice, you see a lot about Stokely Carmichael, right, in the history. How often do you see Imam Jamil, H. Rap Brown? Hey, something is going on wrong around here. Something is and they know who they be building up. They know all during Stokely Carmichael's life, with all African Revolutionary People's Party. I'll get back to that point in a minute. But when he'd come anywhere, San Francisco, Oakland, he had to have something to smoke and a nice little girl. That was his, his group knew that they had that prepared for it. I mean, for the Negroes, ain't nothing wrong with that. I mean, you want to be high and you want to attend that, that's fine, that's okay. But that was never had anything to do with Imam Jamil. He was married. He had a family life, right? He lived an ethical life. Therefore, they don't want to show him. You know why? Civil rights, black power, right? BLA, Black Liberation Army, that was some of our friends. And Imam Jamil them. Black Liberation Army, actual governmental confrontation. They did that. Of course, they had to go to exile for a while. And then, what next? Islam. It was natural for Islam to move, or for the human evolutionary process from an African-American perspective in America followed that exact change. That's the way it moved. Now we in the 70s. So literally every Islamic group in America is super infiltrated. COINTELPRO. I mean, super infiltrated. But when I went down to visit Imam Jamil in '83, I said, man, this is a beautiful community. Y'all got the masjid, you got houses, stores. And everybody saying, As-Salamu Alaikum. You know what he said? They ain't with me. Talking about the whole crew. They not with me. That's what he told me. And I took it as gospel. And today, you watch his community. How many of them try to help him? How many of them even had fundraisers when he went to the penitentiary? How many had given bail to him and would be mad at other people if they didn't give bail? Right? But they don't help Imam Jamil. They don't raise funds for Imam Jamil. Right? And now here we are in America. When it transferred to Islam, years ago when people accepted Islam, it was mostly African Americans, 30, 40 years on back. Then the immigrant community began to flood into America. And when we first used to travel and raise funds, 40 years ago it was small masjid and houses, you know what I mean? It ain't like it is now. Now there are big cathedrals all over America. Let's call them Islamic cathedrals. And after this is over, they'll be full of Muslims. But what happened was, the immigrant community outgrew the African-American community. At first, everybody used to love and respect the black, let's call it the Islamic community in America. They were happy. You should see how happy people were. Are you a Muslim? Of course I'm a Muslim. You know Al-Fatiha? That's what they used to say. Sure. And the immigrant, imagine an immigrant here, and he don't see no Muslims hardly, and he stumbled upon you, and they were so happy. Hey man, in those days, the Muslim community was mostly students, so it was really a good relationship during the 70s and up in the beginning of the 80s. It was really nice. But then the brothers, we call them doctor brothers later. They were brothers. At first we was all brothers. Then they became, it was a Negro joke, doctor brothers. When we would refer to our brothers Indo-Pakistani, that we would say, how's Dr. Brothers doing? They became doctors. Pretty soon, they built these huge cathedrals all over. And at first, we were still friends. Then after 9/11, the white man came to them and scared them to death. And ever since then, you have seen no demonstrations. They don't help themselves, they don't help each other, but they want to vote, right? Can you imagine how insane someone would be today that wants to vote and get their share of America? It's because they're not paying attention. We're going through certain things. The first was Iqamatul Deen. That's to establish the deen. Because everybody was talking about Islamic revival. I said, in America, we don't need no Islamic revival because at that time, it was to establish the deen. Iqamatul Deen, you know, like Iqama, establish Salah. Iqamatul Deen, to establish the Deen. Now it's a time for Islamic revival. Who's that going to be? That's me and you. Here's what it's why. Because our immigrant community have misplaced the taklif, the responsibility that Allah gave you. They're not doing it. So now it's your duty and my duty. No matter where you are or where you come from inside of America, you technically know. I don't care whether you work. You could work downtown as the chief tattletale in America. It don't make no difference. You still know that America is not the land of the free and the home of the brave. You already know that. Now, this Iqamatul Deen and now Islamic revival. Islam is now established in America. Now we have to revive it, put juice back in it, blow that boy up again. That's our job. And it's your job, because the real Ansar is you. The real Ansar is you. We've been here, we know America. And the immigrant, he don't have no backbone as far as this system is. He's afraid of this. He's afraid. Not everybody, but the way they act, they're afraid. All of the organizations, they're afraid. I showed you Ibrahim Hooper's a picture. We went down to CARE 4 or 5 times to reach out to them to help us on our case. They didn't even come to the door. And they had a while have spoken here 3 or 4 times during the heyday of all the Muslims working together. That means the United States of America is in control of Islamic movement in America. And we're not going to put up with, well, put it this way, we're not going to be quiet about it. Why? Because it's our duty to invite people to the way of Allah. Let me give you a little idea about it. A free human being is free in all circumstances. This is from Salah. We read this last week. Should a misfortune befall him, he bears it with patience. Salah. Sabr in Arabic means to check, to tie, to contain. When everybody else, there's panic and fitna going on, the person, the Sabirin, have patience, and they have control of their faculties. They have control of their thinking. They have control of themselves. And then it goes on to say, if calamities strike him, they do not shatter him. If taken captive and subdued, he turns hardship into ease, as was the case of Yusuf. فَإِنَّا مَعَ الْعُسْرِ يُسْرًا إِنَّا مَعَ الْعُسْرِ يُسْرًا. After hardship come ease, right? Therefore, struggle hard, right? Keep your focus. Umar radiallahu anhu said, after one hardship is followed by 2 eases. You know, like in life, you have some, I don't care how smooth your life is, you have some periods of hardship. Then when that go away, the hardship really make the rest of the little period of ease real ease. Boy, you so happy you don't know what to do. What made you happy? The hardship is the one that produced the ease. And they work together simultaneously. But some people have arrived here and they want only ease. They want only education. They want only job security. Something they want. I don't know. Because I've been lucky. I'm telling you, I have been actually lucky. Everything that happens to us, you know what? I'm not going to get into it, but people look at it and say, I wouldn't want that to happen to me. They are absolutely wrong. It's actually the opposite. The more fitna we get, the happier we become. Because we've been trained, we trained ourselves that way. And I don't have the whole picture, but look at this. This is what I got busted. They knocked all the fat off my head. You know, they knocked off. I was bleeding so bad, when I went to the hospital, they started working on my chest instead of my head because they thought I had got shot in the chest. You see all the blood? So they was cutting all, they said, you're not shot? I said, no, I got busted upside the head. See all that blood dripping down the beard, a beard full of blood. Most people wouldn't take that. Why would I take it? You think I'm afraid of a Negro? No. You can look at it on the camera. Ask the white man. They got the Masjid stuff. The whole attack was on camera. You know. And so, you know, you get a little old, so you sit down. Only thing you can do is use your strength and pull the guy to you and turn him to the side. You think, well, that's pretty good. But the only thing about it, when you turn him to the side, he's got a 300-pound wife back there. And she has one of those rods to where all his blood comes from. And you turn him to the side and your head is exposed. And guess what she does? Whack, whack, whack. Boy, I'm telling you. Now, I didn't go out. It ain't no big deal. It ain't no big deal. Why? Because these Negroes are United States government agents. And what we do here is 50 times more important than what they're talking about. They do this to try to take us off our game. They're not going to do it. They have Siraj, they have all them people up in New York. All of those people work 100% against us, and they all fail. All the people in As-Sabiqun, Abdul Malik, them, all the people that signed up, where they at? They all gone, and we still here. I want you to understand what's going on. They all gone. They took themselves off the scene. They're not a valuable player anymore. The system don't need them because they've exposed themselves. Right? Everybody here that was on board, where they go? For what reason? You just pop up and leave. And we got goals, the Masjid, the school, all, you know, living close together. Business. It's a good goal. Where everybody go? They leave you here and they all gone. Can you imagine? And they thought, well, if we do that to anybody, it's going to break their heart. They're going to be lonesome. Not so. Remember, I told y'all, and this is where the confidence comes in. Confidence is not arrogance. When you go through the whole prison system, if you're raised almost from a kid in the prison system, and then when you get grown, you kind of stay out most of the time. They have things, we used to call it the hole. And they always put, I don't know, rebellious. For some reason, I was always going to the hole. And then I thought about it when I got grown. I said, why do I always go to the hole? I said, well, all other little tough guys, they beat up other little black guys, you know, and stuff like that. The little white boys. I said, but I'm always teasing the system, the officers, you know, the white man. And if I tease him and get away with it, they got to put me in the hole because I'm disrupting their system. You see what I mean? So I was doing it naturally. I had no idea it was a gift from God to just, whatever he got, I don't want it. Something like that. I don't know. It's been like that. This is not intellect, and all that. It just so happens that That's the way I came here. So, but you can improve on whatever you get. Other people want, one of my partners, Diamond Jim, he said, I don't know about that, man, because see, I want this and I want that. I said, hey, he was a big Negro, saying he was all rich. And I said, I do that too. I said, our school, we had a school here at that time. I said, man, we done donated over $500,000 to our school. I mean, just imagine now, we got school here going every day, for over 10 years. Take out your calculator. What's on all day long during the winter? When it's school, it's during the winter. The heat is pumping. You ever see the size of those things out there? That boy is cranking all day. If kids want to go anywhere, the parents may not have money. We said, don't worry about it. We had some of the teachers saying their parents haven't paid, they owe us $7,000. I said, don't worry about it, we'll take care of it. Right. And then look at the kids that went to this school. They all in the University of Umba Gumba, everybody came out, I mean, for what they was talking about. They're not revolutionaries, but that's good. You know why? Because if they were revolutionaries, they would have heat that they couldn't bear. And the greatest thing is to put heat on somebody that could stand it. Remember the training? You gotta remember this now. If Allah got you ready to get in a fight, He gonna train you for that fight. Isolation every day, over and over again. A lot of our big friends, when we left the country and we, in Algeria and other parts of Africa, back in the 70s, 60s and 70s, all the brothers was over there and they were sad. You know why? Because black people didn't help them with no money. They didn't help them. So they were sad. Man, we had all that black power. They were talking about black power. You know, I remember telling the brothers, in '69, we went to the Infirmary Park, as we used to call it. The Black Panther elders and them was there talking. Now, half our people in our organization had been in the party. But I was telling them, I said, you hear all them people talking about black power? Yeah, man. I said, do you think when the white man comes down on all those Negroes, that them people gonna still be there talking about black power? They didn't plan ahead. I'm saying that technically our leaders didn't know their people and didn't understand. When we went into exile, we took big money with us. Why? Because we knew wasn't nobody gonna send us no money. From back home, we already knew it. That you come up in the gangster world, you already know that. You don't have to, but they coming out of school and everywhere, and they thought every black power, and they thought the people, black power, mean we all in this together. No, it don't mean that. It don't mean that. It has nothing to do with that. You get in some hot water right now and see how many friends you have coming by. And the white man let them know, I'm out to get that nigga. See how many friends you have. Huh? Get broke. And see how many come by and help you pay the rent. So what I'm trying to tell you, we already knew that because we knew the structure and the makeup of the human being. Because the streets teach you that. It's automatic. You don't dislike people because of that. That's just the rule. Isn't that right? If you win the lottery, everybody with you, hey man, this brother is good, man, and they hanging around, you can't get rid of them. If you're the heavyweight champion of the world, everybody with you, right? But after you get old and kind of chubby, and the people is gone. Of course, your money's gone too, but do the people go with the money? Yes. They go and they follow the money. That's not bad. That's the way it is. So what do you have to do? What we've done here, and you can hear it as a different little, we was just like we used to have a heavy bag out there. We used to mainly almost let people punch at us, pop, pop. And we just hang there like we just punch a bag. You know, people, when they just punch that bag, they look good. You ever see them? They can dance on that bag. But the bag don't hit back. So here's what we're doing today. We're changing to hit back. Why would we do that? You look out in the yard, in the yard right there, and there's an old dump truck, whatever it is. There's another truck full of this, that, another. And there's a lot of junk out there. There's junk everywhere. We let them do it. Let me show you something here if I can. You wouldn't believe it. This is A Street. 50, 20. This was, the brother helped clean this was one of our healthiest brothers. He got sick, it was so bad. It smelled so bad, it just didn't. We had to redo the whole thing. This is our Masjid in Oakland right now. This is our Masjid in Oakland. It needs fixing. We're going to fix it. We're going to fix it. We have property out there. We're going to fix it. Why? Because this is a different time. Just like we was trained for this fight, we was trained for this one. So our goals now is not surviving, not allowing, you got to remember, everything that's happened to us, we participated in arranging it. Since the day we got here, we knew who everybody was that come here. That's the way it is. Why? Because, you know, you come up in certain things. See, if you go to school, they give you a little test, right? You know whether you're involved, right? You get a little test. In Jahiliyyah, in the gangster world, on the level we was playing, if you made a mistake, either you went to the prison and lost everything you had, you got killed, right? This is what they do. They kill you, right? Therefore, all your wealth is gone, your life is gone. Those are the rules of the game. You don't get a chance to say, let me take that test again. And you get 100 on it. No, you don't do the chance. Why? Because you were in prison and lost everything you had. And every little girl would come by, cute as she was, somebody else sent her there to get on your case so they can find out where this nigga keep his dope, how much money he got, how can we, that's the rule, right? It's not, that is the rule. So therefore, if you're messing with people that all they have ever done in their life is go to school and get a test, or they work on a police department. Look, I'm not calling anybody in here that's a police dumb. I'm not calling you dumb. But when the world changes and it's your time to shine, it's time for you to drop the eyelids and everything from boss man and say, I'm gonna take a chance this time. If you can't watch the news and you don't hear nobody talking about God, well, how in the world did the world get like it's on freeze? Right? And it can't do nothing. They tell you they got a $2 trillion package. Man, they already put $2-3 trillion in the stock market already. They had already done that. They ain't said nothing about it, but they had already done that. And if the market get a couple of trillion and they come up for one day, hey, when I came in here today, it was headed back down, all in the red. Why? America is finished. Just like the Roman Empire was finished. Now, Rome is still there, Italy is still there, but it don't have the power, don't have the prestige that the Roman Empire had. right? The British Empire, London is still there. Greenwich time goes through London. London is one of the main business cities in the world. But the British Empire is finished. America is finished as a power broker to make people do things. And it's so brutal. You got to remember, look at what they do in Yemen. They're killing all the people. They let the Saudis slaughter anybody they want in Yemen. Cholera, bombing wedding parties, right? Why? Because Saudi Arabia, and look at Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia cut up a man in the embassy and put him in a suitcase and take him off somewhere. And America don't say nothing about that. Why? Because that's a stooge of America, right? People can assault us anytime they want. In Oakland, they put me in jail for going into the Masjid. It's illegal, I got the deed. It don't make them no difference. Of course, we're going to call them up on it. When we get ready, not when they get ready. Now, this replacement that we're talking about, you know, there are certain ayats we always call ayats of replacement, that if you don't do what Allah wants you to do, Allah will replace you with somebody else. When the people first came here, Islam was mainly an African-American phenomenon. Allah allowed the immigrants to build all of these big centers in every huge center. So Islam is established in America. It happened quickly, but they didn't know what they was doing, and they don't know what they're doing. So Allah is replacing them with you again. They replaced you 25, 30, 40 years ago, and now Allah is giving you a rematch. Yeah, that's what you call it, a rematch. Okay, nobody has to take it. I'm just saying what I'm going to do. Why? Because they say, you don't have to worry about all of them people, right? Nafsaka, the only thing is you're in charge of yourself, right? So I'm telling you about our view, and I'll move toward a close. Okay, so it goes on to say, if taken captive and subdued, he turns hardship into ease. Okay, if you've never tried it before, you may not know how it works or that it's real. You may look at hardship and call it hardship. Adversity and hardship bring the best out of you. Ask anybody that plays sports or anything. Ask anybody that box or wrestle or do anything like that, right? The harder your opponent is, the more you got to get on your job to deal with that opponent, right? It's just the rule. So adversity, the challenge, causes you to rise to a higher occasion. What I'm saying to you and ourselves is, we just kicking back on our behind and we're not rising to the occasion. And I'm not going to stand before you and let you just run around on a job. But you will stop coming here because every week I must talk like this. You're not doing your job. Now, of course, I ain't doing mine either, but I tell you what the Quran says about that, so you'll understand where we're coming from. If you, you have attained to faith, remain conscious of Allah, and always speak with a will to bring out only what is just and true, whereupon he will cause your deeds to be virtuous. If you speak the truth, you don't have to be perfect, right? You don't even have to be good. Allah is going to make your It's going to cleanse your behavior. Because see, it's easy to talk about doing good, right? But how is it easy to do good? No. So the talk is the first thing. We talking about it. But if you're serious about it, Allah is going to help you by forgiving your sins of the past and prepare you to entreat Him, Allah, for your salvation and to make your future life even better. That's what it's saying. Let's go again. Make your deeds virtuous and will forgive you your sins. And know that whoever pays heed unto Allah and His apostle has already attained a mighty triumph. You know the ayat, al-mu'minun, they translated, the believers will eventually win through. It don't mean that. Ask anybody. The believers are already winning through. The believers have already won through. When you accepted Islam, game's over. You've already won. I'll move toward a kind of a close here. This is 2011. Decline and fall of the American Empire. This is not new. It's kind of newish. But it talks about what's happening right now. There's certain stages in life. You know, of course, you're born. Then you grow and develop. Then you decline, and then you die. That's true with those trees. That's true with you, right? That's true with organizations. Everything that is material has those aspects. It has a birth. Then it expands, it grows. Then it declines, and then it dies. The only difference is the soul. Once the soul is born, it's going to be here. There's nothing you can do about it. You got a soul, your soul is going to be here. It's here. I mean, now where it goes after you leave here, and even while you're here, the greatest happiness is to strive against something that scares everybody else to death, and it don't bother you at all. In fact, it makes you happy. That's unbelievable. I'm telling you because all the things that you as a brother you've seen all the pictures. In California, I was the richest Negro in Northern California, by all means, and probably Southern California too, for a period. So everything that you might Google at, the cars, the cutie pies, the houses, we had all of that. When we came to Islam, we didn't come with on crutches and broke and everything. That's why we could pop up with a masjid here, a masjid there, because we didn't come, whatever you did before, when you become a Muslim, that stuff becomes halal. You see what I mean? That means your property. That means even if you was a dope dealer and you take your shahada, your money becomes halal. You don't have to throw your money away. Your money, you can't go back to dealing. You can't deal no more. But the minute you take your shahada, man, I got $15 million. Well, good. Now you can spend it on mosques, schools, and all that stuff, right? So I'm trying to tell you, whether you believe it or not, this existence that we're dealing with right now, education, houses, cars, paying bills, is substandard. It's substandard. You fight below your weight. You're punching below your ability. You ought to see what white folks say. If you just working to get a house and a car and all that, man, you ought to get something else, is what they say. Right? Make life something. You're going to be here one time. what will it be? Do you know that you have a choice? You have a real choice to be what you want to be. Now, as far as we're concerned, if they have all the Negroes in New York, Philadelphia, California, here, and everywhere working against one person, and they can't get a scratch off of them, they ought to get a new job. I would be ashamed to be in a crew, and it's got 800 people on the crew, 800 police officers, subverting this, that, and another, stabbing you in the back, and you walking around laughing at them all the time, never sad. You know, ask anybody, you ever see the poor brother sad? Oh, the white man is doing this. No. Why? If Allah got a fight for you, He gonna train you for the fight. He know what you're fighting, what you're coming up against. I'm trying to tell you, you can believe it or not. Only thing I'm following today is Qawlan Sadida. Speak a word directly to the right. Oh Allah, we seek thy refuge from anxiety and grief. We seek thy refuge from lack of strength and laziness. We seek thy refuge from cowardice and niggardliness. We seek thy refuge from being overpowered by debt and the oppression of men. O Allah, suffice us with what is lawful. Keep from us what is prohibited. With thy grace, make us free from want of what is decided. Ameen.